folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland. And for this adventure, I think the rain's actually on just now. It's just started to come on, but I thought it's cool to come and visit this roadside little abandoned farm building or whatever it is. And it looks like it's got two of the old stone outhouses, which we've spoken about a lot on videos recently, but we've never seen an outhouse or whatever. But it looks like this has been an old either farmhouse or some sort of farm building up here, so I thought, why not just stop and come and have a wee look, document a bit of history that's hardly seen, hardly ever documented. Check this out folks, this is incredible, the old stone structure here, most likely a farmhouse or whatever. I think this area is still used by like the local farm or whatever in this area, and there is some new sheds and stuff. But like I say on these adventures, I always come with the greatest respect for like landowners, farm owners and stuff. I love coming to document history which is almost lost and forgotten from the local area. And look at this, wow, check that out folks. That's the remains of the original toilet seat there. That's what I love on these adventures. Just imagine the person coming out all weathers to do their business out here. There's actually a stone kind of bit, and I'm not sure if originally maybe they were able to come and dig it out here or whatever, because there's obviously like holes in the wall there. It's actually like a double shed. It's so interesting to come and see what's left of places like this, because these old farms probably date back to like the 1700s. Look at that, it's a little shed with the opening there, maybe for like a pig or some sort of animal like that. It's even got the old wooden lintel down there on above the doorway. But for sure this has been an outhouse here, and I could see it through the road, and I was just thinking, imagining how it must have been originally. Obviously all houses in Scotland that they never had toilets and that inside the property, but you just take that sort of stuff for granted nowadays. The house looks like it's in a pretty sorry state unfortunately, but we'll take a look in and see what's here. Wow, I love seeing things like this and just imagining the people that may have lived in here and spent their day-to-day life. Wow, I'm pushing in, it's proper like tick territory here folks, and that's the reason I've got the socks over the top of the trousers for this one. I'll just check. Oh wow, I'm sure there was a tick, but it's just fallen off. It was either a tick or a beetle. Most of the time when you try and brush a tick off or brush it away, you can't do it. It's got such a hold of the trousers. Check this out folks. Wow, the old fireplace. This is what I love often, battling through the wild conditions just to document the history. Just think what people may have looked out this living room window. It's mad because every house that I visit tells a different story of history, and they're all on a different level of decay. But with this one you can see there's been original like black paint around there, around the fire. And there's the original bar, metal piece there. There was like a bar in there that hinged around out of the fire. And it's so cool down below all these horrible stinging nettles. Look at this folks, the old fire front. And if you actually look at the last video that I uploaded, you can see how one of these fires may have looked when it was within a complete house. Wow, I need to be so careful just now of like wasps and stuff nesting in the ground or in bushes even, because it's the prime time of year for that sort of stuff. As you can see, everything's just so overgrown in here. Obviously all the internal walls and features appear to be down. The last remains of the little front door here just hangs on in, and it looks like it's been green paint with like a red, some sort of red undercoat. Wow folks, it's so overgrown. This is just mad at this time of year trying to explore, and I can just feel the nettle stings which I've gotten already through my socks. It's just crazy extreme wildernesses, but I just love the adventure, coming to document things like this and being able to share it with people all over the world. I've driven past here a good few times and noticed it, but I just never stopped to document it, and tonight when it was kind of rainy and a bit blustery, I just thought, how no stop, let's just see what's here. You know, often it's so worth it. Look at the way all these blue flowers here are growing over the grass. It's an incredible springtime scene out here. That's probably how there's so many beasties crawling about within this. They'll all be getting the pollen and stuff off these. Wow, what a beautiful display it is there, folks. Nature and also abandoned history all mixed in together. Let's take a look in there now. The other end of the building. Wow, I can hardly get in for these trees. It's just so overgrown, it's just a madness. Yeah, there's no actual any fireplace at that end either. Look at the old door. Wow, the years of decay. Look at the old square nail, which shows it was likely like 1800s or before it, when it was in its prime. And it's just sad to think how a place like that can be a hustling, bustling community, and then one day it's just not needed, no longer used. Yeah, all the colours and all the plants and stuff really add to the character and the atmosphere of a place like this, with the colour of the old grey stone mixed in through it. Probably with a small croft or farm buildings like this, it was most likely taken on from a bigger farm in the local area. They would have taken on all the ground but not needed the house. And it actually looks like this house has not had electricity, so you can imagine no electricity and also the toilets and stuff outside. It would have needed mega upgrades at a certain time. These beautiful plants have maybe actually spread from the original garden which was on this site. No way, look at this. This is so cool. Look, there's actually like charcoal or whatever in there. Wonder if that was something that they did. Oh, it's maybe been filled back in when they've had a fire at a certain time. I think this is actually where the last remains. Look, there's one of the old toilet seats. That's the kind of history that I just think is so funny to see. Think of the people that were glad to get a seat on there. It's actually been whitewashed with paint. This was one of the little buildings that I could see from the road clearly, and I wanted to come and see. I thought it was probably an outhouse, and after speaking about outhouses and stuff on previous videos recently, it's cool to see one, and see one which has still got the original wood. It's just a crude, obviously like a crude built structure of its time, but you can see this wood in this building here is ancient because it's got the square nails and stuff in it. Wow, folks, what a special little location this has been. And I just love seeing the different variation of the places that I go. Each one of them a different level of decay with a small like difference of the story that they tell. And I'll take a wee look in here. Yeah, these have been other little sheds similar to what we saw on the other one. It's had this kind of outside bit which has been backfilled with what looks like the old ash and stuff out of the fire. So probably as the years progressed, the site was maybe changed, maybe even like, I think it's been 2 farmhouses originally, but maybe eventually it was made into one, and that side was maybe more like their garden than their outhouse, or you never know. They were maybe even using one of the outhouses as like a bit of a pigsty. I'm just giving myself a check. That's how often, I'll just leave it in the video, these bits, when I stop to check for ticks, because literally that's how often you need to be checking if you're out exploring in these environments, because they'll crawl up on you, and if you don't notice straight away, they'll actually bite you without you seeing, and they can sit on there, like obviously they dig their head right in and suck your blood, but I always go on about them on my videos, but it's a real threat often out here, little things like that. But I do love the adventure, coming to see stuff like this, the way the different stone is constructed. It must have had a small upstairs, because it's obviously got the little square window up there, and then another time it's had a little building on the outside there of some sort, maybe like a stick and coal shed even, or something like that. That's been the wee bedroom window up there. Wow, everything's getting so overgrown at this time of year though. It's just a madness out here. But the landscapes is often part of the adventure. Like I say, it's just so cool to like navigate through and just find things like that. Each one I go to has got so many little interesting artefacts from different times. But even though the house in this case was so far gone, it was interesting to see the outhouse with the old wooden toilet seat there. Yeah, this is so overgrown at this entrance, and there's loads of these big black flies going around the day. Sometimes if they land on you, they give you a right nap. They've got teeth on the front of them like little tweezers. They didn't actually do any harm, they just give a sore nap. But today there's just thousands of them flying about. It must be the ideal conditions for them. But yeah, there's a slight breeze coming here now, folks, so I'll end this video here. That's me just about back in my car. Anyway, it was a cool roadside little bit of history, and there's so much pollen in the air today, I can actually feel it in my throat. This time of year, it's a high pollen content in the air. Sometimes when you're climbing through stuff like that, you get the full pollen of the bush on your head. So I can really feel that. But anyway folks, I'm going to end this one here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next adventure very soon, wherever I end up going.